Good morning, YouTube Man on the Radio George page, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, this is a story I saw a few days ago, and really, this story needs to be mentioned. As you know, I follow, I pinch the news, what's going on every now and then, and especially with what's been going on the past few days. But this is a story that's kind of been put under the wire. This is another sign of how racism is still uh, apparent in this country. Now, this is one Miss Mia Poseto. If I got her name correct, if I didn't, then screw it. And this is a story of her. A few days ago, she was, I think it was like maybe a few weeks ago. She was in New York, and she was visiting family, and she was staying in a motel. And while she was there, she couldn't find her cell phone. Well, young Miss Poseto decided to accuse somebody of taking her phone. And stereotypically, like any person, she made an assumption and she accused a 14-year-old teenage boy by the name of Kenyon Harold Jr. Now, Kenyon was with his father, who was a Grammy-winning jazz musician. They were at the motel staying over. I think his father did a performance. And she was saying that she was like waiting to see who could come out from the motel. More likely be the one who stole her phone. So she sees this 14-year-old boy with a phone in his hand. Now his father, he has his phone. He's recording the situation, and she's accusing him of taking her cell phone. So what she does, the boy's walking away, trying to get away from the situation, distance himself. She attacks him. She attacks him. She goes after the boy like she was Lawrence Taylor going after Theismann. You remember that game years ago in the Super Bowl? Was it Super Bowl? Was a Monday night game when Lawrence Taylor, who people say part of the time he was coked out, tackled Joe Theismann and broke his leg. And that's what he did. This girl barely maybe 80 pounds, 90 pounds soaking wet attacked this 14-year-old boy. Now, his family, his mother and his father, have already, requested that justice should be served. And the thing is, yes, justice should be served. She assaulted. She's 22 years old. She's an adult. And she assaulted a 14-year-old boy over a phone, which was hers. And see, here's the situation was. Her phone was returned to the motel by her Uber driver. She left it in her Uber. Anyway, the New York City Police arrested Miss Poseto, and because she was back home. She was on a warrant. She had a warrant because she fled the state of New York and went back to her home in California. And she was arrested by Ventura, California sheriff deputies, and they had to forcibly pull her out of her car. I want to see the video on that. Her getting pulled out of her car forcefully. I love to see that video on that. They should have body cameras. They're supposed to have body cameras. Anyway, it wasn't that long after she was arrested. She was bailed. She got bail. And pretty much she's walking around free. Now, before her arrest, she did an interview with Gayle King for CBS Morning News. And in the interview, she said she's sweet. And and Gayle really, this is one of the few times Gayle really pushed the issue. We seen Gayle not too popular with our community, especially after the R. Kelly situation. R. Kelly, let's push back about R. Kelly. Let's say about the Michael Jackson situation and other stuff. But like I said, let's forget about the R. Kelly thing. R. Kelly, I used to love R. Kelly, but the brother, he did some stuff that was shady. But anyway, she was there. This was the interview before she got arrested, and she was there with a lawyer. And I'm going to put the interview from CBS in the description. Check it out. Really pay attention to her and how she talks, how she say. And she want to apologize to the boy. But the fact is, apology is not enough. You need to be in jail. You assaulted a minor. You attacked a 14-year-old boy over a phone. A phone. And the phone was in your Uber. And you didn't just, and the question was being asked, well, you were asking everybody else. Why didn't you ask, who were you asked in particular when you was coming out of the motel? And she knew, in the back of her head, she didn't want to say, I want to check out with all the black people. And she picked that one 14-year-old boy. Now, if she picked some big, dude, she could have said his father could have took the phone. But she picked a little boy. A boy, 14. You know what? As we know, we just survived most of 2020 and last couple of years dealing with these Karens. And now, and just, like barbecue Karen, corner store water Karen. I mean, this just, and instead, like most Karens, she didn't call the police. If she called the police, they could have settled the situation. But she didn't. She started to take, justice in her own hands. So she's now in the new generations of Karens and Kevins. And she has a name. Maya is called SoHo Karen. So welcome to the family, SoHo Karen. And like this, she should be more likely what's going to happen is she's going to get probation or some kind of other thing or do community service. But that was assault on a minor. Would that have been a 14-year-old girl assaulted by a 20-year-old black man? That brother been under prison. It's just the double standard of the justice system. Yes, she has arrested. She has been, and I think she has been bailed out, and she more likely is going to come back to New York and stand trial for a crime. But more likely, she's going to slap at her wrist. And I'm sorry for the family. And the family should sue. They should sue for assault. They can, because think about it. They can go to civil court. Remember what happened with OJ? When his case in a trial, they went to civil court, even though the evidence didn't really say that that he murdered his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. But like I said, what's going to happen as usual? This girl's going to get a slap on her wrist, and more likely, this justice is not going to really truly serve. So welcome to our new Karen of 2021. This is your man all the way, George Page. Don't subscribe. I'm out.